Well, ladies and gentlemen, the time we have one race to go. It is the Senior OK final in the second round of the 2018 FIA European Karting Championships. 70 drivers entered this class here at the Paul Fletcher International Circuit this weekend, and just 34 remain. They will be entering the circuit very shortly, and they will be getting their honorary medals for getting this far presented to them by the Chief Executive of the Motorsports Association of Great Britain, Mr. Rob Jones, and the Councillor for the South Kesteven District Council, Mr. Councillor Bob Sampson. Once again, welcome one and all to the home of British kart racing, and 22 grueling laps of this 1,368 metre circuit await the 34 successful qualifiers. Thank you very much for joining us both here at the circuit and via the live stream around the world. And at the end of this next race, we will be halfway toward deciding the two European karting champions of 2018. What awaits these drivers, these OK karts? They rev up to 14,000 RPM is their restrictor. They will be doing speeds of well in excess of 85 miles an hour. The youngest 15, the oldest nearly 30. So without further ado, let's welcome the 34 final qualifiers, starting from position number 34, representing France for the VDK racing team, number 134, Jules Metatal. Starting from position number 33, representing Germany, driving kart 183 for the B racing Zug. Starting from position number 32, representing the United Kingdom, driving for Strawberry Racing, driver number 197, Mark Kimber. And starting from position number 31, representing Finland, driving for the DPK Racing Team, Rasmus Jutsemis. Starting from position number 30, representing Russia, driving kart number 151 for the Ward Racing Team, David Rosenfeld. And starting from position 29, representing the United States of America, driving for the KR Motorsport Team, Nicholas D'Orlando. Starting from position number 28, representing the Netherlands, driving kart 142 for the KSM Schumacher Racing Team, it's Tijman van der Helm. And starting from position number 27, representing Belgium, driving for the VDK Racing Team, it's number 139, Antoine Potty. Starting from position number 26, representing the United Kingdom, driving kart 119 for Forza Racing, it's Johnny Edgar. And starting from position number 25, representing Sweden, driving the number 131 kart for the Cosmic Racing Team, it's Victor Gustafsson. Starting from position number 24, representing Peru, driving kart 147 for the Lennox Racing Team, it's Mateus Vagazeta. And starting from position number 23, representing France, driving kart 116 for the VDK Racing Team, it is Frank Chapard. Starting from position number 22, representing the Netherlands, driving for the Zanardi course team, it is number 127, Kaz Havercourt. And starting from position number 21, representing Italy, driving the number 128 CRG kart, it is Andrea Rosso. Starting from position number 20, representing Spain and driving the number 115 Prix racing kart, it is Jorge Picador. From position number 19, representing the United Kingdom, driving number 120 kart for Ricky Flynn, it's Harry Thompson. Starting from position 18, it is number 121 for Forza Racing, Christopher Lullum. And starting from position number 17, representing Sweden, driving the number 106 Tony Kart Racing Team entry, it's Noah Millell. Starting from number 16, representing the United Kingdom, driving kart 113 for the Paul Fletcher International Team, it's Oliver Hodgson. And starting from position number 15, representing the Czech Republic, driving kart 129 for the Cosmic Racing Department, it is Roman Stanek. Starting from position number 14, representing the United Kingdom, RG, it is driving. And starting from position number 3, Italy, driving kart number 130 for the Birrell ART team, it is Luigi Coluccio. Starting from position number 12, representing Denmark, driving kart 150 for the KSM Schumacher team, it's Nicholas Nielsen. And starting from position number 11, representing the UK, driving for M Sport, it is Morgan Porter. Now we are into the top 10 qualifiers. And starting from position number 10, representing Germany, driving kart 117 for the TB Racing Team, it's Luca Meisch. And starting from position number 9, representing Scotland, driving kart 118 for Forza Racing, Dexter Patterson. Starting from position number 8, representing Barbados, driving kart 125 for the Ricky Flynn Motorsport team, it's Zane Maloney. And starting from position number 7, representing Spain, driving for the Tony Kart Racing Team in kart 102, it is David Vidales. Starting from position number 6, representing Spain, driving kart 105 for the CRG team, it's Pedro Hiltbrand. And starting from position number 5, representing the United Kingdom, driving kart 101 for the KR Republic team, it's Danny Curl. Just 4 drivers remaining. And starting from the outside of row number 2, representing Finland, driving kart 103, the Kotala Sports team, it is Juho Valtonen. Starting from the inside of the second row of the grid, representing Italy, driving kart 104 for the KR Motorsport team, it is Lorenzo Travasanuto. And now on to the front row of the starting grid. Starting on the outside of row number 1, representing Germany, driving kart 109 for the TB Racing team, it's Hannes Janka. And starting from pole position, representing Italy, Driving kart 1, 2, 3 for the KR Motorsport team, it is Italy's Mattia Michelotto. And they are your 34 starting drivers in this year's Kart Prix of Britain Senior OK Final Round 2 of the 2018 CIK FIA European Karting Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us here this weekend, and we're now going to hand over to Chris McCarthy and Guillaume Alvarez to bring you the commentary.
Thank you very much, Harry, for the drivers' presentation as we're ready to get underway for this second round. This is the final of the senior category, the OK. All the drivers and all the cars, at least, on the starting grid, as we're about to go in less than 10 minutes right now. 10 minutes to go before the green flag, and we're going to be good to go for 22 laps. This is the final race of the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly the one a lot of you out there have been expecting for long. Certainly the drivers, the first, of course, because, you know, they've been putting up a lot of efforts just to get in there, to get on this grid. 34 drivers only allowed on the starting grid of the final. As we're going to go over to Chris McCarthy on the grid.
So Hannes Janker starting on the outside of the front row. How are you feeling?
Quite good. Will be an exciting race. I'm looking forward to it.
What are you expecting? Long race ahead of us here, so plenty of time to get that win. I guess that will change your tactics?
Not really. I just try to do my best. Will be a long race, very bumpy track. We do our best and see what happens.
And championship-wise, this has been great for you already, right?
Yeah, I look.
Good stuff. We'll move to the second row. We've already spoken to our pole sitter on our live stream, so we'll go to Lorenzo Travasanuto next. Are you going to stand up? Oh, I can come down. That's fine. Oh, that's very kind of you. Lorenzo Travasanuto on the inside of row 2. I imagine you would hope to be one row further up. But nevertheless, there's still 8 points on the board.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good starting position for the final, good points for the championship, and now it's all to play.
Good stuff. Are you excited?
Oh, well, for sure. We'll see.
Good stuff. Let's go to the next driver then, and that will be Juho Valtonen. Oh, in fact, I don't think the mic likes that side of the grid. Let's go to Danny Cole, actually. He's just up here. We'll have one final chat with him. Are you okay there, Oleg? Yeah, I think just about. Hi, Danny Cole. How are you doing? Happy memories here, of course, as everyone knows. Could you create some more today?
Yeah, I think it's possible. It's going to be tight, obviously, all the way through. And this car is always tight. But yeah, I can't see why we can't have another special moment here today.
And the racing so far has been fantastic, isn't it? You've been involved in most battles this weekend.
There's always on this. Obviously, I'd rather the front and go away, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully, it'll be good for all of us.
Best of luck, Danny. Of course, home track. So if any racers here want to win at, this will be the one. Let's keep walking down. Actually, let's see if we can speak to David Vidales. David, can we have a quick chat? Or yeah, of course. Good stuff. So how are you feeling? You happy with where you're starting at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, we made a good hit. Obviously, we were all 7 drivers in front, very close in the points. So it was difficult, you know, to be in all the hits constant. But I think we are doing a good job. So we will see now in the final, because the pace looks really good.
I guess stay out of trouble at the start. Go from there.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, there we go. One more chat, I think, before we have to go. Dexter Patterson, of course, good memories for you, like Danny here. Dexter, how does it feel now racing in the seniors? What's the major differences, would you say?
Yeah, no, you're racing against a lot more experienced drivers who have been in the class for a few years, so it takes a while to get used to, but I now think we're really on the pace and we should be able to make an impact.
You seem to have adapted quickly. You must be enjoying it in the seniors?
Yeah, no, just looking to get a good start and then go from there.
Thank you very much. Right, I think we'll end the grid walk there. We'll go back to Guillaume Alvarez.
Thank you very much, Chris McCarthy, once again on the grid to describe us the feeling out there of some of the drivers, you know, the atmosphere down on the track on this fantastic straight line of such a fantastic location. These are the facilities, of course, of PF International, one of the best karting tracks in the world, that's for sure. That won actually the award for best event in the European Championship of the FIA Karting last year. Let's hope maybe that this fantastic location, why not, gets back this award this year. We'll share about that at the end of the year. 3 minutes to go before this last race of the day, the final of the senior category, the OK, 22 laps when the lights go green. Let's have a quick round about the starting grid of this final, shall we? With on the right side of the starting grid, the first position is Mattia Michelotto, the 1-2-3, driving for Karting Republic. Alongside him, Hannes Janker. Once again, the same chassis for Hannes Janker from Germany. One of the two drivers that showed some good performance and consistency. That's the most important of everything in the qualifying heats. So the sign clear the track is shown to the drivers, ready to get into the kart, just to get underway for this final. So as we say, Mattia Michelotto, Hannes Janker. This is the first row of 34 driver grid. Second row, Lorenzo Trevisanuto, driving, of course, for Rosberg Racing on the right side of the track. Left side of your screen, if you follow us on the live stream brought to you by FIA Karting, available on CIKFIA.tv, on the YouTube channel of the European Championship, and on Facebook as well. Thank you, Chris McCarthy, who just joined me back from the grid. Let's have a bit of water, catch your breath, Chris, and then we'll be ready to follow together and to cover for you this final race of the weekend. What a fantastic weekend it has been so far. Juho Valtanen will be starting on the second row alongside Trevisanuto. Third row will be Danny Kiel and Pedro Hilbrand. Danny Kiel, the reigning world champion here in this category. Well, it was last year in PFI, back in contention after a difficult first round in Sarno. Pedro Hilbrand, who is going to be as well one of the names to keep an eye on this final, the European and world champion back in 2016. Then we're going to have David Vidales and Zane Maloney sharing the fourth row. Fifth row, Dexter Patterson and Luca Meisch. Dexter Patterson, certainly one of the big boys from home soil, more than willing to perform well in front of his fellow countrymen. Thanks again very much, all of you, for joining us on location here in PFI. And we're going to have Morgan Porter and Niklas Nilsson sharing the sixth row. Seventh row, Luigi Coluccio and Callum Bradshaw. Eighth row, Raman Stanek and Oliver Oxen. Unlucky, Oliver Oxen in one of the last heats, more than willing to recover some ground and do better, of course, in this final. We shall see about that. Ninth row, Noah Millel and Christopher Lurnham. 10th row will be shared between Harry Thompson, third on the podium last year on this very track, with George Carlos Pescador from Spain alongside him. 11th row, Andrea Rosso and Carl Savecourt. 12th row, Frank Chapard and Matthias Zagazeta. 13th row is Victor Gustafsson and Johnny Hedger. 14th row, Anton Potty and Temen van der Elm. 15th row, Nicolas D'Orlando and David Rosenfeld. 16th row, Rasmus Jutsimis and Mark Kimber. 17th row will be shared by Marius Zug and Jules Metetal. Here we go. Green light for two formation laps. The first one to get the tires up to temperature. The second one to get everyone on the grid. Of course, this will be a flying start as always for this OK category, with, of course, introduction for all those drivers to put the tires out of the line unless you want to get a penalty. So here we go with Chris by my side. Thank you once again, Chris McCarthy. I know it's very hot out there under the sun, but you put up the effort on Facebook Live. Of course, the content is already available on the official page of the European Championship of the FIA Karting, as well as the first starting grid that you did just before for the junior. Thank you once again for being here at PFI around the podium. Of course, don't forget, the last podium ceremony will be held just after this final at exactly 3:30 local time here in the UK. Chris, as the drivers get on the way for the second formation lap, what's the atmosphere down there in a few words?
Oh, really, really good, fantastic atmosphere, but we're getting ready to go. Before we run through the grid one more time, I think let's tell you the state of play in the championship as it stands. Roman Stanek leading with 35 points, Hilbrand second with 34 points, Valtonen third with 20 points, Janker fourth, Thompson is 5th. Michelotto is 6th. 7th is Havercourt. Maloney is 8th. Vidales is 9th. And 10th place is Marseglia. So that is the state of play with the championship. The grid one more time. Row 1, Michelotto and Janka, Travisanuto and Valtonen, Curl and Hiltbrand, Vidales and Maloney. Then it is Patterson and Maish, Porter and Nielsen, Coluccio and Bradshaw, Stanek and Hodgson.
Then for the rest of the grid, very quickly, after Angson 9th row, Millel and Lelam, Harry Thompson and Pescador on the 10th. 11 is Rosso and Havercourt. 12 is Chapard and Zagazeta. 13th row is Gustafsson and Hedger. 14th row, Putty and Van der Elm. 15 is Dorlando and Rosenfeld. 16th row is Jutimis and Kimber. And the last, Zug and Medital. We're going to be good to go, Chris, in a few seconds as the field comes across the starting line.
I don't think we'll go this time. It looks as if they're not in formation, but we'll go as if they will. Michelotto will be to the left. Yep, no surprise. Full start. The guys at the back just hadn't really caught up to the rest of the field. So, unsurprisingly, we go around one more time. So, a full start to remind you all. They'll get one more now lap to get themselves up to speed. But let's go through that virtual championship and where they're starting. Stanek, who's leading, is on row 8. Hilbrand, who is second, is row 3. Janka, Valtonen, who is third, is row 2. Janka, who is leading, is on row 1. And then in 5th, Thompson is starting from row 10.
Then we're going to have, after for the championship, Harry Thompson in 5th position in the championship. Harry Thompson starting a bit further back the field on the 10th row. Then Michelotto is currently 6th in the championship. On the first row is the pole sitter, Cars Havercourt, currently on the 11th row. Havercourt 7 in the championship. Zane Maloney 8 in the championship, will be starting from the 8th position. Then David Vidales 9 in the championship will be on the 4th row alongside Zane Maloney with lots of ground to recover. Then we're going to have Luca Marseglia. I think we didn't make it up to the final. Luca Marseglia, unfortunately for him, is not appearing on the grid.
Here we go for the start then. Michelotto to the left and Janka to the right. We're off away in racing then as they're going towards turn number 1. And we know, well, the full start once again. And Nigel Edwards specifying to them, you're not close enough together. So the guys at the back need to be closer to the guys at the front. So we go around again for another try.
The pressure is rising, isn't it, Chris? You can see, you can feel that those drivers are ready to go maybe too quickly for some of them, or not in order, at least not as Nigel Edwards, the race director of the Czech FIA, wants it. So once again, one more formation lap. Not so good for the tires, as they're brand new, of course, so we shall see about that. But, you know, the longer you run on those tires, the more they'll be educated, of course.
They're all in the same boat, aren't they? So I don't really think tires is too much of an issue, to be honest. But... well, this time they're going at quite a steady speed as they make their way down, and one of the officials, I think, they want them to get closer. But the problem is the guys at the back don't want to go off the racing line. So you'll see they don't want to form up until they ultimately have to. So the guys at the back will want to stay on the racing line as long as possible. You go off the racing line, then you're going to struggle for the first few corners at least. So that is why it takes a while to get them into formation. But now they will start forming up, as you'll see. So you can already see there are guys towards the last corner, and the guys at the back haven't even formed up yet. And I wouldn't be surprised if we go round again, because yet again we're not quite in order. But here we go. Michelotto is to the left. To the right is Janka. Is that going to be a start? Yes, it is. Michelotto leads him across the line. Then as we go racing, Janka goes straight into second. Oh, a big accident. 5-6 drivers off, and someone very lucky not to have been taken out there in the middle of the circuit had spun at turn number 1 as out front is Michelotto leading from Janka. 3rd place is Travisanuto. 4th place then, let's see who that is. I think that is Juho Valtonen. 5th place is Danny Kell. 6th place looks to be Vidales. Zane Maloney was off the circuit. Now the guys who didn't come through, Roman Stanek, our championship leader, off. Also Noah Millel off. Jorge Pescador off. Kaz Havercourt is also off the circuit, 7th in the championship, as was Gustafsson and Tiemann van der Helmen. I actually think it was Roman Stanek who was in the middle of the circuit at turn number 1, and at least 4 of the drivers who spun hadn't got going again, as Michelotto leads us across the line to complete lap number 1.
Yeah, that was very heavy indeed in these first 3 corners, as we said, one of the hottest part of the track as it happened with all those drivers involved. Let's get back in the top with Mattia Michelotto over the bridge all the way ahead of Hannes Janker, was not far behind. Hannes Janker under the pressure behind him. Lorenzo Trevisanuto, is going to try to go for the second position, taking the inside line. Not just yet for Trevisanuto, under the pressure of Danny Kiel, looking over his shoulder in 4th position. Then good battle going on for 5th between David Vidales and Hugh Valtanen.
It's Hiltbrand battling for 5th with David Vidales. Hiltbrand was looking to the outside there.
Yeah,
and
well
Nielsen
spotted.
is just behind that as well.
So it's going very, very fast in this second lap. Then we have just after Niklas Nielsen 8, Luca Mesch is 9, and Morgan Porter is closing up the top 10 as we're going to have a look at once again at the gap as they coming across the start-finish line once again. Here we go for one more lap, 22 in total. Mattia Michelotto, 1/10 of a second just be ahead. There's a change for second place, I think, over there, Chris, at the hairpin.
Yes, change for second. Travis Sanuto going under the bridge has gone into second place. As they come off the bridge one more time, going into 3rd place is Danny Curl. 4th place then is Janko, and Travis Sanuto is going to go for the lead down at hairpin 1. Curl dives to 2nd place then, so the leader Michelotto has dropped to 3rd place. Behind that, Janka having to defend. Hiltbrand's trying to look to the outside of Vidales, and he's going to lose a place to Nicholas Nielsen, it seems. Then there's a big gap now back to Morgan Porter, who I think is in about 8th or 9th place as they head through the complex one more time. It's now Travis Sanuto, as we said, leading the way from Danny Curl. So a good start to the race for Curl. Now there's a yellow flag out at the chicane, and I think that's Zane Maloney potentially walking away from the car. It is, so Zane Maloney out of the race, unfortunately, but the 2 leaders head underneath the Litchfield Bridge with a bit of a gap now over the rest of the field. But is Danny Curl going to take the lead? Hannes Janker over the bridge, dives for 3rd place and takes the place there away from Matteo Michelotto, who once led this race. 5th place is David Vidales. 6th place is now Hiltbrand, having gone back past Nicholas Nielsen. Porter now being passed by Luca Mesch into the 2nd hairpin, and Hiltbrand has gone into 5th place. Finally, he gets past David Vidales.
Yeah, Danny Kiel is very, very close indeed from Lorenzo Trevisanuto. Those two are going to battle once again for the win. Trevisanuto, who was fastest in the qualifying session on Friday night, more than willing to maybe grab the victory at the end, but Danny Kiel won't let him do that, actually, in 2nd position as they come across the starting line once again. Let's have a look at the gap, 0.2 of a second between those two. Hannes Janker in 3rd, getting past Mattia Michelotto. It was a good move from the German driver in 3rd position, as he needs to decrease the gap between him and Trevisanuto and Kiel, side by side almost. He's actually in good contention for once again the win. And as Danny Kiel goes and takes the inside line for the 1st place. Change for the leadership. Danny Kiel takes it from the hands of Trevisanuto, and another change just further back, Chris.
Yep, change for 4th. Pedro Hiltbrand past Matteo Michelotto, but Danny Curl has taken the lead away from Lorenzo Trevisanuto, who's going to have to deal with a hard-charging Hannes Janker. The gap from Janker to Curl was 0.7 of a second, so 2nd to 3rd. That's now come down, as you'll probably be able to visibly see. We're looking at a little bit the mid-pack on screen, but now we can see the top 3 heading down the start-finish straight, and the gap to 2nd to 3rd is now just 0.4 of a second as they go underneath the Litchfield Bridge one more time. This now lap number 6 of 22, so still a long way to go in this race. So don't discount the likes of Pedro Hiltbrand in 4th, Michelotto in 5th, Vidales as well, also behind him Nicholas Nielsen. All drivers who can still get involved. There's a change for 5th place there. Good move that from David Vidales. Dives up the inside of Michelotto. Nielsen now trying to go around the outside of him. And now Oliver Hodgson getting involved. Hodgson makes a move into the chicane. He has gone into, let's see, what's that now? It's going to be about sort of 8th place. Where's Morgan Porter gone to? There's yellow flags, and I think Porter is off at the bridge. And I think also Luca Mesch. So those two have come together at the bridge. They are both now out of the top 10. A real shame for both of them, particularly Porter, who had been definitely in contention for a podium overall.
As we said, you know, this part of the track on the bridge is definitely a hot spot for overtaking, but as well as a very tight corner where contact could be easily done. That's what happened once again between those two drivers. Just got out of the race. Oliver Hodgson, I think, yes it was, and we got contact over there. So disaster for those two drivers as it happened. Let's get back onto the lead with still Danny Kuhl in first position, 0.2 of a second ahead of Lorenzo Trevisanuto. Hannes Janke, as you mentioned, Chris, flying right now as he gets very close from the top two. He had the space to do that, Hannes Janke, after being caught in the midfield against Hilbrand, Vidales and the others. And now that he had some free space, he can actually push very fast and try to reduce the gap on the first two. So they come across the starting line once again. The gap is 1:10 just behind the first two. Danny Kuhl under a lot of pressure from Lorenzo Trevisanuto is going to try to take the inside maybe all over the bridge, left and right. It's not happening yet as they make their way down to the hill in the straight line, maybe at the breaking point. Trevisanuto is still too far behind just to try something efficient at least, but it allows Hannes Janke just behind to get closer.
Sorry, further back there's been a move. Oliver Hodgson has gone up the inside of Michelotto, so that's a change for 6th place now. Hodgson, a good move there. He's got to try and chase down Vidales now. And if I tell you what, if the top three start battling, that whole queue of drivers there with Hodgson, Nielsen, Bradshaw, Valtonen could start to close in. But for now, it is Kuhl, Trevisanuto, Janke in that order. However, Pedro Hilbrand could be about to set a new fastest lap in 4th place here. He's absolutely flying as they come across the line. Not quite, but he is closing the gap to the leaders. Hilbrand in 4th place, the 1:05. Has brought the gap down to less than a second now to that top three. So he is getting closer and closer, the Spaniard. As for the top three, what do? They've got Janke getting closer there in 3rd place of the top two. We've had another off there. Now, who has gone missing? Is that Johnny Edgar? I think that may have gone off there, is it? He's not come round. Neither has Mark Kimber. So I'm not too sure if that's the two drivers involved in that particular incident. But they certainly haven't come across the line, and I'm not too sure if Victor Gustafsson has either.
Yeah, it seems to me that Johnny Hedger and Mark Kimber, as you mentioned, are the two involved over there at the Open. If this is confirmed, this is one more disaster for the European champion of the junior category last year out of this race, such as Mark Kimber, Luca Mesh and Morgan Porter, the two wildcards out of the race in this final. So much bad luck for those two, as Morgan Porter was battling in the top 10 against Luca Mesh, and those two got involved in the contact. It was over the bridge just a few laps before. Back on the lead with Danny Kuhl still leading the way. Lorenzo Trevisanuto putting the pressure on the shoulders of the British driver. Still in 3rd position, Hannes Janke is just 0.3 of a second behind, as the top three in the same picture are very close to each other. It could allow, as you said, Chris, Pedro Hilbrand to try to get an attack on there, at least reducing the gap and maybe getting himself involved in the battle for the first position, as the three of them, Danny Kuhl, Trevisanuto and Janke, you know, they're battling for the first position, but still blocking themselves a bit, at least from Pedro Hilbrand, who's got enough space just to push as much as he can. So we shall see in the coming laps what the Spaniard will be capable of doing.
I was going to say, for the 2nd lap in a row, David Vidales in 5th place has just set a new fastest lap. So David Vidales in the 1:02 going left into the bridge now. He has just set a new fastest lap. On screen, he is 5th in queue there at the top of your picture. Fastest on track as a change of lead. Trevisanuto decides it's time to retake the lead then from Danny Kuhl. Will he respond at a hairpin 2? No, he doesn't. Stays in 2nd place for now. At the end of this lap, we'll be halfway through this OK final. Hannes Janke still there in 3rd, but look at Vidales in 5th place. He's getting closer and closer to Pedro Hilbrand. Also closing in 6th place is Oliver Hodgson as well. He's already getting 10 places. So those three drivers all together getting closer to the top three. We could have as many as 6 for the lead by the end of this race. It's all dependent on what the top three decide to do with themselves over the next 11 laps. That's now half the race completed then, as Lorenzo Trevisanuto leads us over Village Field Bridge.
Yeah, fantastic battle going on for the first position between those three. Maybe soon between 5 drivers in total, with the two Spaniards, Pedro Hilbrand and Vidales, closing in very much on the top three. As we saw just an attempt of move from Hannes Janker.
No, it was a mistake from Kel. I thought Janker was going to make a move, but Kel getting away with it.
Danny Kel under pressure, as we can see, it's not the moment to make any mistake in this final, as the pressure keeps increasing on the British driver's shoulders. In second position, Danny Kel, but for how long, as Hannes Janker is very fast indeed in third position. We saw Hannes Janker making some good move in the last stages of the qualifying heat previously. Maybe he could try once again to surprise his opponents, but pretty sure that Danny Kel has the experience to try to prevent himself from that happening. Lorenzo Trevisanuto still in the lead with almost half of a second of a gap between him and Kel.
Here comes the move. Janker over the bridge, goes up the inside there of Danny Kel. So Hannes Janker into second place. Look at David Vidales, fourth in this queue. He's still quickest on track. He done another new fastest lap a lap ago. So David Vidales absolutely flying at the moment. Pedro Hilbrand will need to get past Danny Kel if he wants to keep that fourth place safe. But a good move that from Hannes Janker. The only problem is it's cost him about 0.4 of a second, which is a lot in this game, believe me. So Hannes Janker now has to try and claw that gap back into Lorenzo Trevisanuto, who you'd say looks safe at this stage. But David Vidales in fifth. I know I keep saying it. Watch out for him. Think he's going to make the move on this lap as they go underneath the Litchfield Bridge. The 102. Willie Line, Hilbrand up for a move over the bridge, I wonder. Will he try and do it in the hairpins? Let's see as they emerge from the bridge. Vidales still remains in fifth place for the time being, but Hilbrand could be in a lot of trouble very soon. And if they all start battling, then Oliver Hodgson will be waiting as Hilbrand dives to the inside of Danny Kel, and Vidales goes with him. So Vidales up into fourth, Hilbrand up into third place. Look how quickly, Guillaume, this race is changing.
Yeah, absolutely. A fantastic move put up together by Pedro Hilbrand, and David Vidales actually was able to take the inside line as well, just on the tail of his fellow countrymen. Those two have just gone past Danny Kel. Danny Kel just lost 2 positions in fifth. So not really what he expected, the reigning world champion, as David Vidales is going to go for the first position, and he takes the inside line in the hairpin and goes for third. This is a fantastic duel going on between the two Spanish drivers. I think Vidales made the move at the end of the bridge. Just have a look as they make their way down the straight line. Yes, David Vidales ahead of Pedro Hilbrand. That might be a chance for Danny Kel to try to reduce the gap behind the two Spanish drivers as the three remains very close to each other. But look behind who's coming, closing in as well. Oliver Hodgson, Chris.
Yeah, he's gained 10 places already in this race, Oliver Hodgson, and he's getting closer and closer. The gap between Hodgson and the battle for third was at the end of the last lap, 6.5 tenths. Probably half now as they make their way out of the last corner. As for the two leaders, the gap was 0.6 of a second. It has now come down to half a second. So Janker has just set a new personal best, so he's getting closer. But watch Oliver Hodgson in sixth place, the number 113. Is he about to go for a move on the reigning world champion here as they go down towards hairpin 1? That's been Hodgson's favourite overtaking spot. I think we're about to see it. Hodgson on the brakes. Is he going to dive for a move? Perhaps just a little bit too far back at the moment, but what about into hairpin 2? The PF International Racing driver dives for the inside, and Hodgson then takes fifth place. A podium not too far up the road here for him.
And then Danny Kel keeps struggling over there with one more position lost for the British driver, now in sixth position. They've just gone past Oliver Hodgson. Mata Michelotto in 7th. Niklas Nielsen is 8th. Callum Bradshaw is in 9th position ahead of Gio Valtanen. This is for the top 10 with Gio Valtanen unhappy so far in this race with a drop of 6 position since we started. And then we see actually the gap decreasing between Hannes Janker and Lorenzo Trevisanuto. Could it be the key moment of this final? Hannes Janker was just faster than the leader in the last lap with less than 0.4 of a second behind those two. Trevisanuto can start worrying about Hannes Janker coming in very fast. All the two of them being very close to each other in the hairpin as it is behind between Pedro Hilbrand and Hodgson coming in very fast as well. So there's battle going on for first and fourth position at the moment as David Vidales in between. Chris, this seems comfortable, but just for the moment, of course.
Well, Janker definitely pushing hard. He made a fractional mistake there. Had the classic make a slight mistake then look over your shoulder. Janker is pushing very hard though. He's brought that gap down from half a second to 3/10 in just one lap. But David Vidales is charging after them as well. So if they start battling, David Vidales will be with them. He's just clawed in that gap as Vidales in third place, down by 3/10 of a second. He's brought it down to 1 second. Now we are into the last 5 laps of the race. So he's going to need a battle, I think. But look further back. Look at Oliver Hodgson. Is he about to go for a move on the 105 of Hilbrand? Will it be at hairpin 2 where he passed Danny Kell? He's got a good exit. Will he dive for the inside? Yes, he does. And Hodgson tries a move, and he's going to run just a little bit wide. Perhaps a little bit ambitious for Oliver Hodgson on that occasion, but it was worth a go for him. He got close enough, and now Hilbrand can breathe a sigh of relief.
You could see the experience of Pedro Hilbrand that actually opened the door a bit just to cut the inside line and taking advantage in the exit of the corner. So it was beautifully made from Oliver Hodgson, of course, but Pedro Hilbrand was able to just take the position back in the end. We shall see what's going to happen between those two, as behind Danny Kell tries, of course, to keep up on the pace. Just get back. Have a quick look on the leader. Lorenzo Trevisanuto still half of a second ahead of Hannes Janke, who just lost 2/10 in the last lap. We shall see as we have less than 3 laps to go in this final. David Vidal is still in third position with currently 8/10 of a second of a gap between himself and Hannes Janke. So it's not over yet. It's not over yet as Hannes Janke is going to put all forces into the last lap as he's the fastest indeed. Well spotted, Chris. Hannes Janke, fastest of them all in the first sector.
Yeah, Hannes Janke purple in sector 1, so he's getting closer on this lap. The gap was half a second, so it's gone up over the last couple of laps, but Hannes Janke visibly getting closer now down the start-finish straight. We're going on to lap number 20 of 22, 3 to go, and Vidales is now within a second of the 2 leaders, so there's a chance, a slight chance that he might be able to get involved as well. The gap between Trevisanuto and Janke has come down by 2/10 of a second last time around, but Trevisanuto is dealing with this pressure very, very well. The leader out front, always responding when needed to the pace of Janke. Anything Hannes Janke is trying at the moment just isn't quite working for him. But it all was down to that move, wasn't it? When Trevisanuto was just able to get a break. Further back, Hodgson seems to have made the move for 4th place there on Petro Hilbrand whilst we were focusing on the leaders. There they are on screen for you, going through the Mike Wilson complex. You can see Hodgson there now leading Hilbrand for 4th place. I wouldn't expect Hodgson to make any more places unless something goes wrong for the top 3, but Trevisanuto going on to the penultimate lap now has a 4.5/10 lead. So once again, Guillaume, he has responded.
Yes, the battle is fantastic to follow, isn't it, between Lorenzo and Trevisanuto and Hannes Janke. 4/10, almost half of a second. If Trevisanuto, the Italian driver, is capable of holding the position till the end, we have less than 2 laps to go until the checkered flag. That might be it for Trevisanuto, unless, of course, Hannes Janke tries one of his magic moves that we've seen happening in the previous qualifying heats. It was against, of course, another driver, Mattia Michelotto. He's no longer in contention for the win, unfortunately for him, with a drop of 6 positions back in 7. Let's focus ourselves on the battle for the lead with Lorenzo Trevisanuto coming across the starting finish line for the last lap already. Last lap of 22 in total for Trevisanuto, with a gap of almost half of a second on Hannes Janke. David Vidal is still in third with 6/10 of a second behind. So unless something unexpected happens, maybe that could be it for Trevisanuto. Let's see about this in less than a lap.
Yeah, we will find out. I think he's got enough in the bag here, Trevisanuto. He's done everything right he's had to in this race, and he's responded when he's needed to. David Vidales, I think he'd need a few more laps, but he was getting closer and closer to Janke. The gap in the end is around half a second now as they go through the chicane for the last time. But there we can see on screen our race leader. There he is now, Lorenzo Trevisanuto. He got a break and he took advantage of it, and he's done everything right in this race. He's going to be a deserved race winner as he comes out the last corner. The Italian Lorenzo Trevisanuto wins round 2 here at PF International of the FIA Karting European Championship. Second place goes to Hannes Janke, and rounding out the podium will be David Vidales. A fantastic podium, well deserved to all 3 of them. 4th place, 12 places for the Brit Oliver Hodgson there. He's had a fantastic home race. Had he had started a little bit further up, could he have been involved in that battle for the lead, I wonder. Good sportsmanship shown there between Travis Anuto and Janka. Vidalis seems to be pleased with his podium finish. Hilbrand in the end was able to finish 5th, just ahead of Danny Coe in 6th. Michelotto was 7th. Nielsen, Lullum and Valtonen rounded up the top 10. Then it was Bradshaw, Shapard, Utsimis and Thompson.
Then we have in 15th position and Nan, a good conclusion of the weekend for Dexter Patterson, 15 with a drop of 6 positions. Andrea Rosso is 16, 17th position for Jules Metetel ahead of Nicolas d'Orlando. Antoine Petit ends up this final in 19th position ahead of David Rosenfeld. A drop of 6 positions for Roman Stanek, 21st, who lost pretty much everything in the first corner of this final. The leader of the championship was gonna lose, I think, in the end, his first position. As I'll give it over to you, Chris, to just give us a quick round of the championship. In the rest of the ranking, behind David Rosenfeld and Stanek, we have Matthias Zagazeta and Victor Gustafsson. Then a lot of non-finishers, Mario Zug, Johnny Hadger, Mark Kimber, Luca Meisch, Morgan Porter, who actually had a contact with Luca Meisch on the bridge, Luigi Coluccio, Zayn Maloney, Noah Milel, Georgi Carlos Pescador, Casa Vercourt, and Tayman van der Elm. That's it, folks, for the final. I'm going to rush once again to the podium. Don't forget, of course, to join in and to gather around for the last podium ceremony of today. Over to you, Chris, to give us once again a good summary of a fantastic final and a beautiful winner, Lorenzo Travasanito. I'm pretty sure, you know, he just made someone very special, very proud of him today, isn't it, with his first win of the season.
Yes, I think you're referring, of course, to Nico Rosberg there. Rosberg racing driver Lorenzo Travasanito taking the win by half a second from Janka, and David Vidales rounding out the podium in 3rd. So what does that do for the championship? Well, it means Pedro Hilbrand leads the championship with 45 points, with Hannes Janka in 2nd place, 37 points for him. Roman Stanek, after that non-finish, will be 3rd place. Lorenzo Travasanito, with that win, jumps up to 4th in the championship, despite that role he had at turn number 1. So having gone from a non-finish to a win, he's recovered pretty well. David Vidales will be 5th in the championship. Juho Valtonen 6th. Matteo Michelotto 7th. Harry Thompson 8th in the championship. Danny Coe is 9th in the championship. And 10th in the championship is Kaz Havercourt. So that is how the championship, the top 10, currently stands. And Lorenzo Travasanito it was who took the win there from Hannes Janka and David Vidales. What a race it was. Hodgson, as we said, he gained 12 places in the end. Drove a fantastic race, did Hodgson. A few more laps. Could he have, had he had started higher even, could he have been involved in that fight for the top 3 positions? Hilbrand 3rd, of course, finishing 5th place. Some good moves made by him during the race. Then we had Danny Coe in 6th place. Fantastic start to the race for Danny Coe. Unfortunately, just dropped back a few places, but still good points on the board. He's now into the top 10 in the championship. Michelotto started from pole position, finished in 7th. Good points for him this weekend means that he finishes, that he leaves 7th in the championship. Nielsen, a much better round for him. Points now on the board, 8th in the championship. Lullum had a good race, 9 places gained for Chris Lullum in the end. To finish 9th, Juho Valtonen was 10th, Bradshaw 11th, Shapard gained 11 places there to finish 12th. Rasmus Utsimis, I think the biggest mover of anyone, 18 places gained by the Finn. Fantastic stuff to finish 13th and pick up a couple of points. Harry Thompson picked up a point or 2 in 14th. Dexter Patterson getting the last of the points available in this final in 15th. Then it was Andrea Rosso. Jules Metatal went from dead last to 17th. Nicolas d'Orlando gained 11 places to finish 18th. Then it was Potty Rosenfeld rounding out the top 20. Of course, Roman Stanek came into this round the championship leader. Not the best of heats for him. Was caught up in the middle of the pack for that final, starting on the inside of row 8. and then that spin, unfortunately, at turn 1, he was lucky actually to not get collected by anyone, but got going again. 21st place for him. Zagazeta 22nd, Gustafsson 23rd, and then all the non-finishers. Marius Zug, Johnny Edgar and Mark Kimber came together seemingly at turn 1. Mason Porter over the bridge. We didn't see where Coluccio went. Not too sure if he was caught up in that Mason Porter incident as well, if he was had an incident of his own. Zane Maloney appeared to be stuck somewhere by the chicane, and Noah Millel came off on the first lap on the banking, as did Pescador, Havercourt and Van der Helm. The banking just ahead of turn 1 rather than underneath the literal bridge. So those 4 drivers went flying up there and unfortunately were not able to get back into the race. So a shame for some big names in that one. Millel, of course, a big name in the championship. Havercourt's had a brilliant weekend in the heats. And then we had Van der Helm, who has been getting better and better. And Pescador's been such a fast starter, has been really good in the racing this weekend. But unfortunately, Pescador caught up in that instant. And sometimes that's just what happens, unfortunately, when you find yourself caught up in the middle of the pack for the final. You may have the pace to be going to challenge for a podium or a top 10 finish, let's say, but unfortunately sometimes you just get caught up in an instant and that's race over. But there you can see on screen the top 3 finishers jumping in to the vehicle that will drive them past the grandstand and around the circuit. Some people still here to see the drivers come round, and then we will go to the podium, of course. So on screen for you now, the top 3 finishers. In the middle of picture, Lorenzo Travisanuto. To the left of screen, 3rd place David Vidales, and to the right of screen is Hannes Janker. So very shortly they will be released and come down past our commentary position and round the circuit for 1 lap before they will be dropped off then to head straight to the podium. So they have already been weighed and had that checks all done. That all has to be done before we get them onto the vehicle and then around the circuit before we head to the podium. Here they come past us then, your top 3. Lorenzo Travisanuto, Hannes Janker and David Vidales. Fantastic stuff. Put on a good show for us. Of course, it weren't exactly a race where they overtook each other every single lap, but it was a very tactical race overall, I think, when you were having to decide where to make the moves, when to make the moves, and overall they were really making it difficult for each other. Travisanuto would extend his lead, Janker would decrease the lead, then it would all happen again with Janker closing in once again. Travisanuto would once again then extend his lead. So it was very interesting, and behind, I've got to say, Vidales in the end was actually only 4/10 away from catching the top 2. So had a very strong race, David Vidales, and I've got to say, deservedly so, looked very, very happy with his performance when he was driving around on the in-lap there. Hodgson, as for him, we mentioned already, climbing up the order very well. Hilbrand in 5th, Curl 6th, Michelotto 7th, Nielsen, Lullen, Valtonen. But between those top 3, when they eventually broke clear into their own air, of course, Hodgson was about 2 seconds back from the podium. But once those 3 were clear, they were kind of having a battle which didn't involve any overtaking. I'm sure anyone in terms of this race will know what I mean, and you would have just seen it on screen where gaps going up and down, and you basically cannot make any mistake. One mistake can cost you a win or even a podium. So a very interesting race overall. I've got to say, it's been a fantastic meeting here. A huge thanks to the PF International team for putting on such a good show. They really have been fantastic. Perhaps we can get a quick word from Henry Bidet. Actually, Henry has been helping us so far this weekend. Henry, what did you make of the finals?
Oh, I thought that both the finals were excellent in the quality of the racing. It's a shame that we lost so many of the seniors at the early stages, but two extremely deserving winners. And I think for Lorenzo, that is a bit of a what's the word? A bit of a retribution for last year's World Championship, where he was so quick but suffered issues in the heat that just prevented him from showing his true pace. And Danny Kill gave it his all on home soil, but I think obviously the tyres or the kart was going off. And no, I think Lorenzo was an excellent winner. And in the junior race, I have to say that Victor Bernier has been a real force all weekend, and some very, very high quality racing, worthy of a European Championship. And can't wait for the next one.